Ever start a show expecting like a light and fluffy romance, and then wham, suddenly you're hit with like this wave of intense emotion?
Oh, yeah.
That's what we're going to unpack today. We're doing a deep dive into this K-drama Love Next Door
Okay.
that has everybody talking, but maybe not for the reasons you'd expect.
Okay.
And just to set the scene a little bit.
Okay.
Love Next Door, it's got that classic childhood friends setup.
Right.
They reconnect as adults. There's this romantic tension, all the ingredients for a classic, heartwarming K-drama.
Yeah, right.
But our reviewer, let's just say they were in for a bit of a surprise.
Okay.
By episodes 9 and 10, they were throwing around phrases like angst next door.
Angst next door. Wow. Okay.
Right. So we're going to go beyond just the typical recap here. We're really diving deep into what the reviewer found so powerful. Like, it made them rethink the entire show's message.
Okay, so what was it? What happened?
Okay, so picture this. Our main characters, Seok-ryu and Seung-hyo, they're navigating that whole friends to maybe more tightrope walk, right? Everything's light, it's breezy.
Yeah.
And then episode 9, bam, bombshell drops.
Uh-oh.
Seok-ryu has been carrying this huge secret, a past illness, and all the emotional baggage that comes with it.
Wow.
And the reviewer was totally blindsided. Like, they went from expecting this feel-good romance to needing a box of tissues. Like, they were not ready for that level of emotional intensity.
And that right there is the genius
Right.
of subverting expectations.
Yeah.
K-dramas are known for their emotional arcs, right? They tug at your heartstrings.
Absolutely.
But when they set you up with a certain tone and then completely pull the rug out from under you,
Yes.
the emotional impact is amplified like tenfold.
Totally.
It makes you sit up and pay attention
And it's not like it was just...
because suddenly the stakes are real.
Yeah. It's not like it was just some random illness thrown in for shock value.
Right.
The reviewer was blown away by how well the show captured those raw, visceral emotions of that reveal.
Right.
Especially like Seok-ryu's mom. Can you imagine finding out your child went through something so difficult and hid it from you?
Yeah.
It's heartbreaking.
Absolutely. And I think that's where the show's brilliance really shines through.
Okay.
It's tapping into a very human experience, dealing with the unexpected. Most of us, thankfully, might not have experienced a serious illness.
Right.
But we've all faced curveballs, moments where life throws us for a loop.
Yeah.
The show isn't just about illness. It's about how we cope with those moments, those secrets,
Yeah.
and the ripple effects they have on everyone around us.
And this is where the reviewer's deep dive gets super interesting.
Okay.
They highlight this one really powerful scene right after the secret comes out. And Seung-hyo, the potential love interest, he calls Seok-ryu out.
What does he say?
He's like, you're not telling us because you are bitter.
Oh, wow.
And that one word bitterness, it just hangs there. And it changes the whole dynamic of the show.
Wow.
Suddenly, it's not just a romance anymore.
Right. It's like the show just took this hard left turn
Yeah.
away from all the rom-com tropes and dove straight into like this deep emotional territory.
Totally. And I think that's what makes it so compelling, right? Like, suddenly it's less about will they, won't they?
Yeah.
And more about, like, how do you even begin to heal from something like this?
Exactly. And what's so fascinating to me is
Yeah.
how the reviewer like latched onto that word bitterness.
Right.
It suggests a depth and complexity that you don't always see in, your typical K-drama Love Next Door, is transitioning from a lighthearted romance into like this nuanced exploration of how we process pain, how we deal with the hand that life deals us,
Totally. And it's not just Seok-ryu grappling with those feelings.
No.
The reviewer was blown away by how realistically each character reacts to this revelation.
Oh, interesting.
Her parents, her brother, even her friends, they each have their own way of dealing with the news, their own form of love and concern, and sometimes their own brand of bitterness, too.
Right, because it's like...
It's messy.
It's messy, it's complicated. There's no right way to react to that kind of news.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got this whole bitterness theme going on. The show has taken this turn for like the deeply emotional.
Right.
And then enter the ex-boyfriend, Hyun-joon.
Oh.
He pops back into the picture, wants to rekindle things with Seok-ryu.
Classic.
And let me tell you, the reviewer had some thoughts.
I bet they did.
Oh, yeah.
What did they think about that?
Well, they were torn.
Okay.
On the one hand, there's this sense of satisfaction. Hyun-joon, he finally sees that he and Seok-ryu are at different points in their lives now. and he bows out gracefully.
Yep.
But then on the other hand, you can't help but feel for the guy.
Right.
He was there for Seok-ryu during your illness.
Right. He was there for a really tough time.
So there's this part of you that's rooting for them, even though you kind of know it's probably not the healthiest path for either of them.
Right. It's that classic dilemma of wanting what's comfortable, what's familiar, versus what might actually be best in the long run.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that brings us to this really fascinating question that the reviewer poses.
Okay.
Has the show itself become bitter?
Oh, wow.
By derailing the romance, like, did all that emotional weight just kind of poison the possibility of, like, a truly satisfying love story?
That's a fantastic question.
Right.
And it gets to the core of what the show is exploring.
Yeah.
Can love truly blossom, even in the face of adversity?
It's a big question. Yeah, it's like, by confronting these harder emotions so directly, the show's kind of raised the bar for what we'd even see as a satisfying ending.
Exactly. And that says so much about how Love Next Door has woven together all these complex emotions.
Right.
It's not just who ends up with who anymore.
Right.
It's about how they come out of all this.
Yeah.
The heartbreak, the bitterness even,
yeah,
to find their own version of happy.
And the reviewer's right there with them, trying to figure it out, too.
Yeah.
In their review, they said they're almost worried.
Really?
Like a simple happy ending just wouldn't feel real after everything.
Right, because they've gone on this journey.
Exactly. They came for a fluffy romance.
Right.
But they got hooked by how real it all felt.
Yeah.
And now they need the ending to honor that.
Absolutely.
So even if you're not into K-dramas,
yeah,
this whole thing, right? This idea that bitterness can work its way into our lives. I mean, that's universal, right?
We've all felt it.
Yeah.
Or been around it.
Exactly.
And this show makes us ask those questions.
Mm-hmm.
Can you overcome that? Can something good come from it? Or does it ruin everything?
It's such a powerful question.
It is.
And it doesn't sound like Love Next Door is trying to make it easy on us.
It's definitely not offering easy answers.
No.
But maybe that's why people are connecting with it so strongly.
Totally.
It's making us face these things.
Right alongside the characters.
Exactly.
So have you seen Love Next Door? Does this make you want to check it out?
Yeah.
Let us know what you think. Can bitterness ever lead to something good?
Such a great question to think about.
Hit us up on social media. Let's keep talking about it.
And remember, this was just one little piece of what Love Next Door is doing.
Yeah.
K-dramas can really surprise you with how much they tackle.
For sure.
So next time you see some of that bitterness, in a show or in your own life even, think about it.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not the ending, but a beginning instead.
Ooh, I like that.
Keep exploring and keep diving deep.
Until next time.